I am so tired. Hey guys, what is up? It's HBL Manga here and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I have another reading log video for you guys. I always seem to tend to film these videos like a couple weeks after the actual month has ended. I apologize for that, but today I'm going to be showing you guys all of the manga that I read in the month of May. I didn't think I read a whole lot this month, but then I was like taking the books off my shelf and I was like, girl was busy. So the first manga that I read this month was Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 10. I was actually able to get this volume before it was technically released at Barnes & Noble. Always check your Barnes & Noble for early releases. Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 10 finally gets into the Shibuya incident arc. I believe that's right. Regardless, I read this volume, and for a majority of Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't know why, but so the other volumes before this one besides Zero, I loved Zero. Jujutsu Kaisen was always kind of like confusing to me. I never completely understood, what was going on or what the story was really about. I could get the main idea, but it was just kind of confusing and a little lackluster for me, but Volume 10, I really liked Volume 10. So the next manga volume that I read this month was Black Clover Volume 1. I picked the entire series up recently just because, one, I found it for a good deal, and two, a lot of you guys have been recommending me to get into this, and I really enjoyed this first volume. A lot of people say that it has similar themes to Naruto, and honestly, to an extent, I would agree. Very, very similar themes. Asta Naruto, basically almost the same person, just different fonts. Don't come after me. But basically, Black Clover is about our main character, Asta, wanting to become the Wizard King. They live in this world or society where it's basically magic and wizards and, all that sort of stuff. And he wants to become the Wizard King, which is basically the leader and the most powerful wizard in this land. However, very early on in the beginning of the story, you learn that Asta doesn't have any magic. So, how the heck is he going to become the Wizard King without any magic? Basically, so far from what I've gathered, I've read volumes after this one in June, so that'll be in my June reading log. But basically, it's just them going on a bunch of adventures and Asta kind of, discovering who he is and his abilities even though he doesn't necessarily have magic. This is a very action-packed, very fast-paced manga. I really enjoy it. I definitely would recommend you pick it up if you haven't given it a shot already, but Volume 1, really fun. I am definitely going to continue reading the series. So the next manga that I read this month was Kaiji Volume 1. So I picked this up because I've seen a lot of people pick this up and have, said decent things about the series. So basically, this story is about our main character Kaiji, who basically gets a bunch of debt, basically acquires a bunch of debt, and homeboy's not doing well financially. So basically, a bunch of people approached him and said, hey, you can go onto this cruise ship, play a game, and potentially get all your debts wiped and get a bunch of money. He joined, he agreed, and let's just say this cruise ship is not as positive as what these people said that it was. Basically, he is going on this cruise ship and playing a game of rock, paper, scissors. This manga overall, I would say that it was decent. It was different from what I'm normally used to in the sense of like a lot of battle and a lot of war and a lot of, swords and guns and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's definitely different in that way, but it still was a good read. I would compare it in kind of some ways to Death Note in the sense of like our main character Kaiji. There's obviously strategy that goes into the game and he's like discussing the strategy and like what he's doing. I mean, we talk about the stock market at one point, so I feel like I'm back in my college economics class, which don't do that to me. So the next manga that I read this month was Fly Me to the Moon, Volumes 1 through 3. This is a very different read than what I'm normally used to. Basically, it's about our main character, NASA. Yes, his name is NASA. He basically almost dies by getting hit by a bus, but this girl in this main cover right here saves him, and he is just then absolutely infatuated with this girl, and he wants to date her, but the girl was like, the only way we can date is if you marry me. So they get married, and they don't really know anything about each other, and it's basically them navigating their new married life, and just kind of all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of mystery around our main girl character, which I haven't kind of figured out yet because I've only read the first 3 volumes. But overall, this is a really cute, really wholesome, fun series. It's a nice change of pace. Overall, this is just cute. If you're looking for something cute, I would recommend you pick it up. So the next manga series that I read this month, I actually read all of the physical volumes that I have of it, and that is Beastars. So I read Beastars volumes 1 through 12, and guys, this was so good. I didn't expect to enjoy this as much as I did. You know, I think like many people, you see Beastars and you're like, it's animals. That's freaking weird. But then I started reading it and I was like, I can't believe I didn't read it sooner. Basically, Beastars is about this society where herbivores and carnivores live together, but obviously that's not normal. And it's hard for them to subdue and kind of tame their natural, you know, animal, predator, and prey instincts. And it's basically set in a high school setting, and we follow our main character Legoshi, which is this gray wolf on this cover here, just honestly discover who he is and embrace himself as a wolf. I have loved seeing Legoshi's character development from volume 1 to this 12th volume. Like, the last couple volumes of this series has just blown me away. The characters in this are so freaking good, and I love how complex it is and how like thought-provoking, because although we aren't like wolves or rabbits, there's also like themes of discrimination and racism that is just so interesting and can be applied in our society today, even though they're literally animals. But Beastars is such a good read, and I definitely recommend you read it if you haven't already. So the next manga volume that I read this month was Chainsaw Man Volume 5. This was a banger of a volume. I love this cover, probably one of my favorite covers in my collection. Chainsaw Man, so freaking good. They know what they're doing. They do it well, and it's just very gritty, very gory. I mean, in this volume in particular, Denji meets the Bomb Devil, which is interesting because we're learning more about different devils and different people and different characters. Chainsaw Man is always just a banger of a series, and if you haven't gotten it yet, people, what are you doing? So the next volumes of manga that I read this month are both part of the same series, and that is Akira in the 35th anniversary editions, volumes 1 and 2. This was another series that I picked up because a lot of people love it, and I loved it too. I'm not entirely sure, it's hard for me to completely define what this series is about, but basically it's about Earth post like war or World War III or something of that nature, and there are people with special abilities, and there's organizations against each other, and there's this main character Akira, well, not our main character, but Akira, who is like just this god-like being that I haven't really discovered a whole lot about yet, but Akira's so good. These releases are so nice. Definitely read this if you haven't already. The last manga series that I read this month was Battle Royale volumes 1 through 15. I read all 15 volumes, and this series is everything that I wanted in a manga series. It's gory, it's gross, it's action-packed, it's so good. I genuinely love this. I can't believe I almost didn't pick it up, but I read all 15 volumes, and it's in my top 5 manga that I've ever read. Basically, it's a battle royale story. Means exactly what you think it is. Class of students every year is chosen to compete in this games where they basically go and kill each other until there's one left. This was so good. Like, I could spend hours on this. This is so good. Read it if you haven't. So guys, that is today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I read a good amount of manga this month, or this past month, which was really, really good. I definitely want to keep that trend up. Make sure to check in the description box down below for all of my links, Instagram, TikTok. You already know the deal. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.